Much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you.
Please listen, we are going to recess. We're going into recess right now, okay? We have a security problem outside. Members, please go, stop. We're recessed. Members, please.
Some domestic violent extremists, or DVEs, will likely exploit the recent United States Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade to intensify violence against a wide range of targets. We expect violence could occur for weeks following the release, particularly as DVEs may be mobilized to respond to changes in state laws and ballot measures on abortions stemming from the decision. We base this assessment on an observation increase in violent incidences across the United States following the unauthorized disclosure in May of a draft majority opinion on the case. Federal and state government officials, including judges and facilities, probably are most at risk for violence in response to the decision. In late May, a network of loosely affiliated suspected violent extremists, known as Jane's Revenge, which has been linked to arson attacks against the buildings of ideological opponents, shared a post online encouraging a night of rage following the Supreme Court's announcement stating, quote, "We need the state to feel our wrath, and we need them to be afraid of us. An individual is now awaiting trial for a plot in June to take the life of a United States Supreme Court justice in response to a draft opinion. A separate incident in Michigan involved vandalism claimed by Jane's Revenge on a building, the House of United States Representatives campaign office, and a pro-life advocacy group. Violent anti-abortion protests, attempts of an insurrection at the Arizona State Senate were thwarted Friday night, thanks to the swift action and local and state law enforcement. While Arizona State Senate members were wrapping up passing important legislation for the session, extremist demonstrators made their way to the entrance of the state building and began forcibly trying to make entry by breaking windows and pushing down doors. Law enforcement monitoring the situation called for backup and were able to disperse the crowd with tear gas before entry was made. As this terrifying situation unfolded, Senate President Karen Fann called a recess so that senators, staff, and the public in attendance could evacuate to a secure location. Once the premises were secured, those inside the building were able to return to the Senate chambers. Unfortunately, the system that circulates the air through the facility pulled some of the smoke or tear gas into the Senate chambers, making the air quality unhealthy for anyone to return. In response, Senate proceedings were moved to another room of the building so that the senators could continue carrying out the people's work. Quote, "We are incredibly thankful for the local law enforcement who quickly intervened during what could have been a destructive and dangerous situation for our members, staff, and public inside the Senate. Violence is never the answer, and We will not camouflage what was a blatant attempt at an insurrection as a rally or peaceful protest. We are calling on all state lawmakers to condemn these acts. There is a way to make your voice heard, and violence is never the answer. Now, the most interesting thing about this image is that I made this some time ago. And the reason why I made this image was because I found it highly interesting that you had a lot of people out here that, had an issue, right, with the whole thing of Roe v. Wade, right? Either or, like I said, my whole main stance is that nobody should, be able to tell another individual what it is that they can or cannot do with their body. Like I said before, but I'm also at the same point that people should also have to face the consequences, no matter what that decision also is. So, with that being stated, back to the picture. I found it hugely hilarious that for the last 2 years and maybe some change, right? The same people saying my body, my choice were not saying that. They weren't sitting up there marching, they weren't trying to protest, they weren't online and all of these other types of things, right? And like I said before, my body, my choice, right? So you should have the choice to decide, during those 2 years, if you wanted to go through with some or if you didn't. You shouldn't be made to be pressured. Nobody should try to coerce you and goad you into basically getting anything, or nobody, should do a variety of things, right? None of those things should basically take place because you should be able to discern for yourself, right, the factors, if they're beneficial or not, if you want to go do something or not, right? That's what every single adult should be able to do. But like I said before, during those 2 years, I bet you a lot of these women who are saying my body, my choice, during those 2 years, they listen to the government. I bet you that. I bet you they sat up there and listened to the government. I bet you they rolled up those sleeves real quick. But now, when it comes to this, magically people want to start crying. Magically people want to, have a problem. I mean, which one is it? Right? Do you care about your body, or do you not care about your body, or do you care about it to the extent where it's like, yeah, you're going to make the choice, but then you shouldn't have to face any type of, consequences for, whatever decision that you decide to make, right? My other thing is about this, right? A lot of these people who are saying my body, my choice, they're only saying this up until the point that, a baby is in the picture, right? They're not stating any of this after the child is basically born. After you have to feed, after you have to clothe, after you have to shelter, after you have to provide, after you have to raise, after you have to teach, after you have to look over, when you basically have to become an actual parent and you have to monitor another human being other than yourself, pretty much everybody's completely fine with my body, my choice, right? But when it comes to the children being out here, nobody cares. And I dare somebody to sit up there and prove me wrong, because I will literally put up oh, wait. I don't have to put up a whole bunch of stories because I've already posted stories showcasing the fact that adults do not care about children. So this is why I have a whole problem with the whole aspect of my body, my choice, because it's completely fine and dandy, right, when it deals with the the potentiality of life, right? But magically, all of these people that want to chant, they want to march, notice how none of these grown women, none of these adults out here are protesting when it comes to children missing, when it comes to children being abused and mistreated and having their lives taken, when it deals with children being sold, when it deals with children dealing with monsters and demons that are either their parents or their families or their neighbors. Notice how none of these women are ever marching. And that's the most hilarious thing, because all of these people supposedly care about life. But the moment in time that that life is removed from them and it's out there and it's walking, it's breathing the fresh air, it's taking in the sunlight, all of these people are silent. They're like, oh well, you're born, you're out here. Well, you can sit up there and you're on your own now. You can do it all by yourself. You're fine. We don't need to look after you. We don't need to take care of you. Like I said before, this is why, in a sense, I almost don't even really have a thing when it comes to this whole scenario, because it's a farce. because you have people out here pretending as if they actually care about life when realistically they don't. And I'm just going to be honest, they don't. Because if they actually cared about life, they would care about it even after it leaves their body. But when you sit up there and look at the percentages, when you sit up there and look at news stories and different things of that nature, you will start to see some other things. Look at a lot of the homeless children that are directly out here. Look at a lot of the abandoned children that are out here. Look at a lot of the children who have lost their lives by way of their parents and by way of adults. But yet, these are the same people that want to go out here and they want to state that they care about life and that you should respect my choices, that I want to do with my body and all these other types of things. But I'm just going to be honest, right? The main people that's going to be the utmost affected by this are the women that are assaulted, right? The women that, that had certain things forced upon them and they need an alternative in order to get rid of a situation that should have never taken place at all. Those are the women that more than likely are going to be harmed by this. All the other women that are out here marching, those are not those women. These are women that might go to bars. These are women that might like one night stands. These are women that just sometimes want to do this like Skittles. They just, popping them every now and again, right? Because they might not want to abstain. They might not want to use birth control or a variety of different things like this. And some of these women aren't even in the same realm of women that want to actually have kids. Some of these women are like, no, I don't ever want to have kids. I actually had my womb taken out, but yeah, I'm still going to march for this. Like I said, like I said, I really wish that they could sit up there and poll and, look at a lot of the people who are directly out here who are quote unquote marching and protesting for this and see if they've actually marched and protest for a lot of the kids who have been harmed because their parents did not deserve and did not want those children. I wonder how many of those people have actually protested and marched and tried to create a hashtag for a lot of those unknown children. I bet you none of them have. But yet here we are. We have people trying to, knock down doors and windows, and they want to sit up there and act besides themselves when it comes to this. And also, let's just put the cherry on top. These are all of these women that you see here who are Caucasian of nature. These are the exact same women who are stating that they're quote unquote allies for black women. But when it comes to black women and their issues, right, the things that they face by way of Caucasian men, you never see any of these women out there marching with black women. You don't see any of these women out there protesting. You don't see any of these women trying to make noise and trying to speak up, for black women. They just completely stay silent. But yet these are the exact same women that will decide to tell black women that, yo, this affects you more than us. We're a sisterhood. You need to sit up there and stand with us. We need your power. We need your energy. We need all of our voices to be heard, not just ours. Like I said before, black women, y'all better sit up there and figure out who specifically are directly your allies and what things that you specifically align with and why, and how far and what is the distance that you are willing to go with these individuals. And you better make sure that you measure that by how far the type of distance that they're going to go for you. Because if not, it's going to be the exact same thing from the very start when it dealt with feminism.
Boy, these conservatives are really something, aren't they? They're all in favor of the unborn. They will do anything for the unborn. But once you're born, you're on your own. Pro-life conservatives are obsessed with the fetus from conception to 9 months. After that, they don't want to know about you. They don't want to hear from you. No nothing. No neonatal care, no daycare, no Head Start, no school lunch, no food stamps, no welfare, no nothing. If you're pre-born, you're fine. If you're preschool, you're Conservatives don't give a about you until you reach military age. Then they think you are just fine, just what they've been looking for. Conservatives want live babies so they can raise them to be dead soldiers. Pro-life. Pro-life. These people aren't pro-life, they're killing doctors. What kind of pro-life is that? What, they'll do anything they can to save a fetus, but if it grows up to be a doctor, they just might have to kill it? They're not pro-life. You know what they are? They're anti-woman.